All right, so okay, now I am a Christian, by the way, so I just want to see how you answer this question and from your perspective.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask this question as a devil's advocate question, but
Sure,
you
sure.
can answer. You can answer it. Over are all religions true? And
No.
explain why you would say that all religions are not true, or or why they are, or if you have the opinion that they are true, whatever.
No, no.
Right. So
Go ahead.
I'd say that not all are true, and the reason why is because of what Jesus says in John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. And I believe in objective truth, which means for truth to be objective, there has to be something that's true or false in terms of the path. And so, if there were others, then that means a violation of the law of non-contradiction, which is like a rock can't be completely red and be completely yellow at the same time. It can only be one or the other. Is it completely red or completely yellow? So that's where we deal with in terms of that. So when we have the Bible saying that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and then we see that Jesus is the Messiah, and we see that Jesus, says all these things and is deity, he's God. But yet when we have a religion like Islam that says, no, he wasn't God, he wasn't crucified, he was just a prophet that came to teach of Islam, we know that this is false based on the historical data, based on what the Bible says. Then we have Buddhism that teaches that Jesus is just an enlightened teacher. And this is false, even though there's also contradictions with Buddhism, like the denial of the soul, but yet they believe in reincarnation. Um, then you have all kinds of issues that exist with these different religions, and the point is that in order for it to be true, it has to be the way. There's only one way to the truth in terms of salvation, in terms of the religion, and not only that, but it has to be consistent. And so far, if you examine the worldviews, whether they be atheist, Hindu, Islamic, all these other different ones, you compare them all to Christianity. Christianity is the one that comes off as the most consistent worldview versus the others that are inconsistent in dealing with these issues and in terms of justifying knowledge and in justifying, um, you know, truth and how we get to where we are. So
Okay.
um, that would be it.
Okay. So to kind of add to that, and then it's my last thing. So,
Sure.
what would you say to someone that says, "Hey, well, the only reason why you believe your religion is because of where you're from"? What would you say to that?
I would say that if we're just going to do that, that it's because of where we're from, then I can show and demonstrate to them that that's not necessarily the case because there are people today who are from these different backgrounds, but they come out with a different point of view. So, for example, you have where Richard Dawkins says if you were brought up in India, you would be born a Hindu. But then, hey, what happened to Ravi Zacharias? He became at first an atheist, apparently, and then he became a Christian. So two different sides of that. And if that's the case, if you're an atheist telling me this in America, and if we're one of the things is if you were brought up in America, you'd be a Christian. I'd be like, oh, what are you? I was like, I'm an atheist. Well, a second. I thought you were going to be brought up a Christian, or you were going to be a Christian. There's even times where, like, in Francis Collins's book, he was brought up an atheist his life. He wasn't brought up Christian. And then you have people today. Some are brought up Muslim. Some are brought up Hindu. Some are brought up as, all these different religions. And then, of course, you have the non-religious. I mean, like, I guarantee you, the kid who gets brought up in Dallas, Texas, that's living over with Aaron Ra is obviously going to be an atheist at that point. So, I mean, you have people that obviously they're not going to turn to be some of these things just because of a cultural area. And we have the new atheists to thank to prove this because it shows, hey, these guys turned out to be something different. And so it's not just about that. And even if it was, why is that even relevant? Let's focus on, is it true regardless of whoever believes it or not? I'm pretty sure we can say that regardless of if people believe 2 plus 2 is 4, it's going to remain that is a fact, regardless if you want to believe it or not. So my response ultimately is, okay, it doesn't matter. The issue is it true? Just because if all the world denies that 2 + 2 = 4, doesn't make it wrong.